Mortal Kombat 11. So Joker's gonna be coming out. Oops, just gotta get through that. But Joker's gonna be coming out on Tuesday, right? So it's currently Saturday. That's about 3 days or so till Joker comes out. And I want to talk about the current balance of MK11. So MK11 at the moment is kind of in a weird, very weird state. We just recently got a balance patch, I think Tuesday. So there's a couple of changes, but I don't think anything really shook the meta. I think there was only a couple of changes here that we'll be seeing, like, that will actually have done some good work. So I want to talk about some characters I think need some rework and some changing. And the first character I want to talk about was Aaron Black. So Aaron Black at the beginning of MK11 was a powerhouse. This dude he was one of the top tiers. He was right there with Geras and Setron and shit. This dude was a nightmare at the beginning of this game. And after a couple nerfs, Aaron Black has been kind of on the lower end of the spectrum now. He's kind of a low tier, mid tier character. I don't really see him as good, and I'm going to explain real quick why I don't see him as good. So Texas Hold'em, it's pretty much just his 52 card pickup variation is what this one is for me. And I want to talk about these moves. So Aaron Black in his base kit has like a good couple strings. He has the forward 3-2 string. He has 2-1-2-1-2. And if you guys don't know the numbers, I've said it in my other video, but one is square X, or square for PlayStation, X for Xbox. 2 is triangle Y. 3 is XA, and then 4 is circle B. So I want to talk. So let me try to regain my thoughts. I'm kind of scatterbrained right now. I just real quick want to make this video. Aaron Black has a couple good strings he can use in normal, in just neutral and shit like that, and just having what he can do up close and what he can do far away. So his, as I said, forward 3-2, 2-1-2-1-2, and back 2-2-2. So this is forward 3-2. That's your pretty good string. You can special move cancel the final hit. This is really the only things you're allowed to get off of it. I think if you have the gun move from the third variation, I forget what that was called, but I think you can link it as well. I haven't checked it yet. The point is, this is a good string. This is a really good string. Oops, sorry. He gets 2 overheads at the end, a high, mid, overhead string, and then he has this string, which is a mid and then 2 overheads. So these are actually really good strings. They complement his long poking down normals. But he's kind of garbage, and I'll explain why. So this first variation, 52 card pickup, is guaranteed his best variation out of the 3 he has. He gains combos off of the gun move, so you can do stuff like this. Oops, sorry, it's been a while. Oh. It really has been a while since I played this character. That you can do stuff like that, you can do stuff like this. You get the idea. I'm not going to try to show off everything. I've been out of practice with this character, and he got changed a long time ago. So you see all these things. He has combos. He gets a couple new strings that are just kind of like zoning strings. There's nothing really other I would say about these strings. They're just here to like be long-reaching pokes that could kind of make him safer. And then he has the fabled Scud Shot. So Scud Shot is an anti-zone tool. Anytime a projectile comes out, blocks the projectile completely, and it shoots it, and then you can enhance it to shoot a bullet right back. You can always do the enhancement. It doesn't matter if someone shoots you or not. You can always shoot a bullet. You can literally just insta-do it. If you're like maybe full screen, you're getting harassed, you can just boop, move in. Aaron Black really doesn't need to move in because he has so many zoning tools in this variation. So what makes Aaron Black bad? This variation is probably the only variation that's even remotely good on him, because everything complements one another. Back 2 this is one of his strongest moves. It has a ridiculous hurt box. As you can see, it goes all over his head. It catches jumps. It catches jumps. Sorry, my voice has been cracking recently. It catches jumps. It links into the 2 overheads, and then with Scud Shot, I want to put this bot to. Oop, sorry. I'm gonna put this bot to block. So normally, actually, is there a way I can show the frame data again? Kind of want to show this. So if you do this string normally, you're negative 15 after this, and you have a long window of recovery on this. So this is pretty bad. if they don't, if they just block, you know, high. What about double? Oh, I forgot you can't show the double one. You can cancel the double one though. So what people will do is they'll usually do Scud Shot, because Scud Shot is such a great tool for this. You're not plus necessarily, but you kind of keep your turn, because double back 2 kind of keeps you in like a nice good range. Like let's say I'm like right in Sub-Zero's ass, I'll be able to block. You know, I'm safe after that. And let's say Sub-Zero's getting antsy. Let's say I'm a little late on the cancel, or let's say I commit to the full string and then do it. I'm really bad at canceling the end, but yeah. So let's say I cancel the ender. I think it's because I'm mashing triangle too much. Now, Sub-Zero tries to down poke. You can just real quick Scud Shot, hit him with the enhancement. You waste a bar for it, but that's completely safe now. If they try to mash it, you know, they're gonna get tagged by the Scud Shot. He has actually a lot of mix-up in this one. He has 2 overheads. He has a low shot. I know he has the like big low shot. I don't remember how you do it. All right, you gotta hold square. Or is it triangle? And he even gets a fast reload in this one. So this makes this this gunshot really crazy, honestly. Like this variation's disgusting, you know? He gets good combos, he gets safeties, anti-zone, like he gets a lot of stuff in this variation. So this is the only variation that all these problems, like with his block strings and stuff, won't matter. As you can see, I've said this before, this string is very negative if you just let it ride. You do have the up 4 you can do after, has a huge gap in it, and you're -5. So you are safe after this, and you're in a decent position where you can kind of try counter poke with like down 4 because it has so much reach. If they try to jump again, you can do another back 2, catch them at the jump. Pretty much if they do anything besides backdash, you can kind of catch them with something in your kit, or you can just, you know, do anything else. Yeah, so this variation, it's alright. You know, there's nothing really too crazy with this variation. We're gonna go straight to these ones because all my other variations are my own fun variations. So this is the first variation I want to talk about because this is the variation I used a lot way back before variation 3s came out. This was the variation I was using a lot. Barking Iron. So what he gets in this one is he gets... Ooh, I forgot about that. And there's only one other thing. Yep. Oh shit, there it. Alright. Alright, so this he looks like it's 5 things pretty much. He gets a cancel to his boot drop and his slide, which means you can... He's still blocking? Nope. Alright. You can do stuff like that. You can do pressure into, you know, like setups into 50-50s. It's actually a pretty good move, honestly, because you have so much options in this variation. The command throw definitely is a huge help. You know, you could do tick throws if you want. Yeah, by the way, you get a command grab. It's just this. It's a side swap that you can pay out for a good 17%, but if you don't pay out, I think it's 12. Yeah, so it's a pretty good command grab. So yeah, you have these 2 actually pretty good moves, honestly. There's nothing wrong with these 2. They complement one another very well. What about his last one? This one replaces his whatchamacallit, his reptile acid. It's a dynamite stick that after a while it explodes. It's unblockable, and it's a pop-up. Now in theory this doesn't sound too bad, but this is probably one of the worst moves in the entire fucking game. It's such an unreliable move, honestly. It's very rare this will ever hit. There's only one way to even make it that you're safe after doing it. It's at the end of a combo. You can even do stuff like this if you want. But at that point, the guy doesn't have to push in. People usually also won't sit still. So, you know, this move is pretty bad, and this is the first thing I want to talk about. To rework Erron Black, I say the first thing I would do... Oh, also, forgot to mention. Again, because you gotta cancel this variation, this is still a decent thing. It's still good. This isn't bad. I definitely won't say this is bad. Because it's -7. Just block low. The only people that can punch it are like Sub-Zero with the 6 frame down 1. I think Erron Black also has a 6 frame down 1. Yep. So just be careful for the 6 frames. Rather than that, this is peachy. You actually get a whole another cancel if people respect it. Usually people will respect it if they see this slide coming out. They're gonna respect it. You know, obviously I've showed you can do a lot of other stuff with it. You could do even goofy shit like that if you want. But literally the only thing you would have to do for this variation is you gotta change his TNT toss. Either, here's what I would say would be good for this. Number one, don't make this a snuff wick. That just doesn't make sense. You're never gonna be able to use this as a cancel. Cause look at that. So I completely fucked up the wick cancel, but you have to be either frame fucking perfect with this shit. And yeah, look at that. Look how awful that was. 79 frames. This dude had a whole time to make a coffee and go fuck his wife in the time it takes me to even snuff my wick out. You could do the enhancement, but even then it's still super fucking like risky depending on which string you use. You could do stuff like that and try to trade, but it still doesn't work. So the first thing is, instead of stuff wick, I say make it so he can just throw it on top of himself. Or make it like a predator fucking bomb. I don't know, something like that. Something where this move could be useful, because another thing I would also say is make the timer a little shorter. The timer's kind of long for a fucking move that really isn't that good. You're never actually in neutral going to be holding this out like this, waiting. The radius is pretty good, and I would recommend actually nerfing the radius so Erron Black has a decent setup with it, because, I mean, look at this. I'm not going to get hurt because he's standing on top of it, but let's say I push him a little too far. I can't do anything. So it's a risk-reward kind of thing, and it's not really in your favor for the reward. It's 9% that you can hurt yourself with. So this whole move needs a rework. My suggestion, make this be able to drop it on yourself and lower the timers. The startup and the drop should be nerfed because it's garbage. But everything else in this variation, from the boot drop, I'm trying to see if I can show some cool setups with that. These are really cool. This is actually one of the biggest reasons I use this variation was for this cancel. It's so fun to use as a move. You get so much options off of it, and I really like the command grab. So then we're about to come up on our final. Hold on real quick before we do this. How do I keep? Give me a second, boys. I'm a little stupid. Alright, I'm very stupid. It was at the bottom. I was just trying to find out where I can keep it. So this is the final variation, locked and loaded. This is probably his worst one, simply because the options in this one are fucking horrendous. So you only get 2 moves, by the way, in this one. You get Acid Pour and Nether Beast. Acid Pour is the gun move I was talking about earlier, and on block this move is -14. So if they have a decent mid, or they just have a good reversal like a Liu Kang Dragon Kick or something like that, like they're gonna catch you if you use this shit on block. It's not quick enough to be one of those like moves you can use after like doing a poke, like how Shao Kahn has the poke moves, where like if you hit someone with a down 3 and then or a down 4 and then go into your shoulder charge, you guarantee a combo. Normally speaking, this move is 11%. It costs a bullet to use. You can make it so it doesn't cost a bullet by using an enhancement. This brings it up to 15%, which again is still kind of bad. We can test right here, so it doesn't actually link, which is pretty bad. I know in the corner, obviously, it's going to link because you're in the corner, you have more than enough time. It's not really a good ender at all. There's only one good thing about it, and it's the fact that it has a crushing blow attachment to it. If you hit someone while they're inside of it, the puddle, you know, you can hit the Acid Pour. I keep on fucking this up, but I'm stupid. We'll try again. But you get a load of damage off that. That's a good like grab crushing blow. So that's actually pretty decent. At least the crushing blow is. The actual move is garbage. But I can see the scenario where you hit this, they try to jump. You know, obviously that wouldn't work because I'm trying to find ways, man. It's hard. These kind of moves are really, NetherRealm made these moves kind of garbage. There's no real way to link that. Like at least after the slide, which is where you would want to like, just like go in. I can see maybe that working if someone's not trying to block, but I doubt it. So then we already have one bad mood, right? So how about the Nether Beast Trap? How good is this? Startup wise, it's 59 frames of startup, but you have a trap on the board at all times. At least not all times, but a good while you have a trap on the board. It eventually breaks itself. This trap is a good couple things. You can have some setup with this trap. I'm trying to make it, this shit's kind of hard to use. But obviously in real game scenario, the chances you'll ever be able to really hit that are so astronomically low. Because it's just so, the startup's too long, so people usually react to it. And even when it comes to combos, you don't really get much off of it. Like, you get a free stun, which is awesome. I'm not going to say anything bad about a free stun. But, like, seriously, like, that's your highest confirm off the trap. Like, without crushing blows and shit, like, that's your highest. Unless, hold on, let me try one more thing. I'm going to try one more thing. Because I think I know what NetherRealm was going for with this. I think they're going for something like that, like you use the trap to guarantee an acid pour. Something like that, maybe. But even so, that's a high confirm with a crushing blow only for 38. Like that's kind of shit. So you pretty much just get a guaranteed crushing blow move, except this move is garbage, so it's very hard to hit this. You can throw the trap. By the way, Aaron Black doesn't really low profile when he sets up his trap too well. At least on startup, he doesn't. You can kick it and you get the guaranteed low. You know, but obviously, this variation is expecting you to do a lot of cancels. It's expecting you to like do this, do that, and then harass the opponent with either doing a back two or going into grab. Now the issue with this is that, as I've said before, the other two variations have ways to deal with back two's negativeness. It has a way to deal with back two's downsides. This variation has no way to deal with the downsides. So if Sub-Zero blocks back two, that's negative 15. If I try to go for the mix-up, negative 15. If I go for this, obviously I could do the ender, I was just showing something. Negative 5, but I don't really have any time to work with. I could try to set up a trap, and that's, I mean, once you do this shit once, the guy's gonna try to slide or something like that. This is subs. Anyone else probably would just rush you, just do a micro dash into a mid, into a full combo. So, because the actual, again, the startup is so long, 59 frames, that's a long time for anyone to get hit with that shit. On block, this is negative fucking 29. I think full screen, that might be better. Jesus, even full screen, that's garbage. Hold on, let me see. It's plus 19 full screen, but obviously the off chance of you hitting that full screen is just so low. So you can't really use back two anymore, besides doing the mix-up, because it's garbage now. You pretty much are gonna do this. If this was a overhead, this would be pretty decent, because I could see stuff like this working very well. I could see stuff like, really that's about it, because I don't think Aaron Black has any decent lows in his kit. Yeah, he has very few. But yeah, this variation is garbage. So what I would say, either there's a couple things I have to do for Aaron Black at the moment. I don't think his variation 1 needs any changes. I think anyone that complains about variation 1 is a baby, because that's probably his easiest variation to work with. You have so many options in that variation. But I would say, 1, change this move. This move has to have a whole damn rework on it. I say give it overhead property, just so it has more uses, or maybe make it a low. I know low seems a little stupid, but it would be a really good compliment because he has so many overheads in his kit. Or just make it like not plus, but at least safe. It's just so bad. Make it just so useful so I could actually do back 2-2-2 into this and then keep it safe. You don't have to make it uber safe. I don't want to make it so Aaron Black can just get another back 2 off this, but make it so like if I do this, then the guy can just apply some pressure to me, maybe run up grab me, some stupid shit like that. This needs to get quicker startup, or it just needs to have a couple changes completely to it. I don't really know how you would rework this move because it's just kind of bad in general. He doesn't really have a lot of moves. Like, if I'm being honest, like if I get rid of the block here, if I do this, you could still see Sub-Zero gets up before I'm even able to finish Twin Trap. Granted, that's a guaranteed trap. If Sub-Zero tries the reversal with a slide, he won't hit it. He'll get trapped. But, I mean, you don't really have a lot of zoning options in this variation for this to be the fucking end-all be-all of your trapping, you know? I would say do that. I'd say maybe work back 2. Either make the last hit... Hold up. Either make the last hit not an overhead and just keep it, like, make it, like, safe, or just make the fucking thing safe. It's just kind of shit. I know this is supposed to complement it and make this safe, but this has such a gap in it. You can get perfect blocked into fucking up 2 and then just get full comboed, so that's not very fun. You know, and then maybe give him a new string or something. I don't know. He has really no strings to work with. He doesn't really like to use his 1-1s because his 1 is a 8 frame, which means people have a lot of time to react with like an uppercut or something like that. It happens a lot in fucking Combat League. His 2-1's really good. And you know, obviously this is one of his greatest goddamn combo strings in the entire game. And I mean that's really it for this character. All he really needs is a couple tweaks to his normals, or I mean not normals, but some of his combo strings, and then his specials in that third variation to get reworked, as well as the TNT in the second one. That was the first character I want to talk about, so we'll go up the list. I'm not going to give too much of a demonstration for everyone because I feel like that would make the video too long, and I don't want this video to be 5 hours long. This is supposed to be a very quick video. So, Shang, I don't think anything needs to change a combat champion. Wait, sorry, my mistake. I forgot this is my names for it. This is quite embarrassing. Oh, come on, you guys all name your shit stupid shit, but I like to go for like kind of canon, my head canon names. So Warlock, I don't think anything really needs to change in Warlock. Maybe make the third skull a little better. Make it like a fucking Sonya like skull shot where it's just super quick and oppressive. So that way you can guarantee that shit. Because let's be real, her Sonya, ooh, that shit's disgusting. I don't think anything needs to change. I think the damage nerf was acceptable because, you know, it's such a crazy zoning tool as is. This variation, whatever one is the combo thing, and whatever one gives a stun needs to be a little quicker. I don't say it has to be like combo able, but I do think like it has to be a little quicker. It's just so useless. You replace quicker zoning tools for meh zoning tools and a cancel, but you can just get your cancel with this one, which has combo potential, anti-zone, and the works, as well as anti-airs and stuff. This doesn't need to change, but this does need to change. He needs to get some new stuff. Really just he just needs new stuff. The combo thing needs to be quicker, and then the actual shot, I don't know how you do it. Maybe make it like Collector, where the cancel doesn't cost any meter, so you have a reason to use it over Soul Eater. Shao Kahn. I don't think Shao Kahn needs too many changes. He has a lot of shit in his kit that's kind of weird. I think it's just the way they built him that's just kind of awkward. I think maybe make his standing 4 a little quicker, since it's supposed to be one of his big plus tools. You do standing 4-4, and you know, try to get some pressure going with like 4-3 maybe. Maybe give him a string with a mid that isn't a fucking disgusting ass like 25 frame mid, which I think his 4-2 is. It's either 25 or 18, I can't remember. But don't give him a shit like that. His stand 1's really good. His combo game's pretty good. I guess just give him some variety. A lot of his specials are kind of shit, honestly. This variation has a good low mix-up, because you can do like forward 2 into the ground collapse or forward 2 into forward 2-3. Give his taunt, make it a little quicker. It's really slow compared to Dark Priest. and give the hammer, I don't know, maybe some priority. I don't know. It has to do a little better. You're just gaining an air projectile, which you don't need because you have a spear. It's pretty much just fixing the problem that Shao Kahn originally had, which is his projectile, his spear is just so high over the head. Risen Emperor is the only one people use, and people only use it for the Annihilation Ender. Other than that, I don't really see much has to be changed in this variation. I think it does it really well. Realm Destroyer, another one I don't think needs to change too much. It has good setup and more combo extensions and stuff like that. Really, it's just Shao's kind of a shit character as is, and really all they have to do is fix some of his strings and give him a couple quicker moves and stuff like that, and just really rework some moves in general, because some of those are so useless. The hammer toss is definitely one of the ones I would think of, because it's just fixing his projectile. Why not just replace the spear with the fucking hammer at that point? I know it's because the spear has a crushing blow attached to it, but still, why bother giving him both? He can't counter zone, he can't do anything like that, so there's no point. Frost. Truthfully, there's not much I can say about Frost. She's actually really good in the zoning department in Ice Machine. She has combo extensions all across the board in every variation, because she's one of the only characters in the entire game that has a combo, like a base combo in all variations that just, that does stuff that can continue combos to pop up. This is a decent setup because it's, I think, a low, and then she has the overhead hammer to complement it. This is a combo ender, and then it boosts her zoning, and this is very heavy zone, very heavy get in, get out kind of tools. It's a very good mid-screen variation. I don't really see much having to be changed with Frost. I think she's in a good spot. Nightwolf, really good character. I don't really even have much to say on this character. None of his variations need a goddamn change. Literally not a single one. They're all good variations across the board. And him as a character is very good. He has one of the best down threes in the game, if not the best down three in the game. Johnny Cage, honestly, the only variation that really needed rework was this one, and they've already nerfed it, so that's all I have to say. This character is a good character. He's great at what he does, which is staggering, which is all he needs to do. There's not much else about Johnny. I don't really think he's too top tier. I wouldn't put him in the leagues of Louis and Curious, but I definitely put him in the high tops. Sonya. I've talked about this before. I despise this character for fucking passion. I generally think Sonya is a disgusting character. She's a zoner mix-up character, which is very, very weird just hearing that. It's not like newer Lambda, where once you get in, you're kind of just in. No, this character, she has options to deal with you once you're in. Her first variation is pretty much the what to do when people are in your ass variation. She gets a lot of counters and a lot of aerial moves. Counters. Yeah, I'm voice training a lot, boys. Just cut me a break. But yeah, not much to be changed on this one, truthfully. This one needs a fucking rework. The cancel doesn't really make sense. Having air projectile doesn't make sense, and having a fucking overhead move like Shang Tsung's body drop doesn't make sense. Shang Tsung doesn't have a lot of mix-up when he's in your face. He has very reactable fucking moves. Sonya really doesn't. You have to guess constantly with this fucking character. If you get in her face, she's not harassed. Like, Shang has to start using his 1-1s or backing off to do like forward 2 or back 1. She doesn't. She literally can just start doing back 1 and just start going into the overhead low mix-up. If she hits the overhead, that's 30%, which you're going to want to break. If she hits the low, that's 20%, and 25% if she spends a bar. So, it's really, in my opinion, this is one of the most unfair fucking characters. You don't see this variation or this variation. What's the point when this one's so goddamn good? And really, it's just the character, her base kit itself. I really do say they need to nerf her goddamn 50-50, make it more punishable. Or better yet, make her not do as much damage. She hits ridiculous numbers for a character that does so goddamn well out away from you. I really do think the best way to nerf the speed in her projectile. That's the biggest nerf you can give her, while keeping her fucking gimmick, and still making her feel fair. Because I feel like her projectile's too quick. She's such a good harasser because her enhancement on the projectile is a mid, and a mid that has a crushing blow attached to it. That has probably the easiest crushing blow attachment I've ever seen. All you have to do is hit the second projectile by itself. That's not on counter hit. That's not on block. That's literally just if you accidentally do anything and that shit hits you, you're fucked. That shit's gonna do a 25% guaranteed. So just nerf the speed on her fucking projectile, because it's crazy. She feels so good up close and far range. Cassie Cage, not really much has to be changed. This variation is probably the only one I say needs some good reworking because this variation is just bad. There's not like I know it has that last move, which is a really good setup tool, and she has some good get in and get outs. But compare that to Digital Soldier, which is her ridiculous zoning, fucking combo variant, or Yas Queen, which gives her like nice ground to ground game where she won't have to force you to break away. She keeps you kind of standing to deal with her staggers. These two variations complement Cassie's kit very well. This one really doesn't. And Cassie's kit alone, really, I'm not too mad. She's another character I don't like. I don't really like the Cage or the Blade family. I'm right with Cage, although I do have difficulty with time fighting him. I have a better time fighting him than I do with the other two. Sonya and Cassie just have a lot of shit in their kit to work with, and they don't really feel like they're ever at a loss in the game. Especially Cassie for fucking bullets. The bitch can literally insta-kill you once you hit low HP. But, all I would say to nerf on her is really just buff this, and then maybe nerf, like, her fucking, whatchamacallit? Her ridiculous amounts of mids. Maybe make one of them a goddamn high. Like, maybe the big leg. That's a 9 frame if I'm not mistaken. It's either 9 or 11, I can't remember. But that shit would be lovely to fucking not be a 9 frame. Like, at least a high would be good, because it instantly has a fucking overhead attached to it. Especially because she has lows, so it's not like fucking Aaron where he doesn't have lows, so you just have to block high all the time. Jax. Honestly, he's just a good 50-50 character. I don't really have much to say on this one. I don't play Ringer, so I can't really discuss, although I think this one's his worst, considering I don't think I've ever seen a Jax with this variation. But then again, I haven't seen a Jax since this update came out, and even prior to that, right when Sindel came out, I don't think I saw a Jax, so... Honestly, the character just needs... I recommend the best buff they can ever give this character. Give him the dash punch. That's all I want. Give him the dash punch, man. The forward 4-2 string is garbage because it's a high. Either give him like an overhead that's unsafe on that one, or make that a mid, so we could run forward with our pseudo dash punch. Because Jax needs a way to get in when he's full screen. He doesn't really have a way to get in. Like, yeah, you could say, oh, well, I mean, you could just shoot a grenade and start running, or you could do ground pounds. Against a fucking decent zoner, you're not getting in. Like, there's so many like ways to keep Jax out. When he's up in your face, though, crazy 50-50. I'm not going to talk about his 50-50 game because it's pretty obvious what I'll say about that. And yeah. Scorpion. I saw on the tier list this character was considered high tier and the best character, and I actually have to completely fucking disagree with that. I don't understand how anyone can consider Scorpion the best character in the game when you have characters like Louis and Gears running around. Like, you're really considering this character the best? He's one of the most predictable characters in the entire game. Yes, he has a lot of staggers, and I think people are just discovering that now that he has so much. But other than that, what else does he fucking have? A lot of his combos require fuck tons of meter to pull off. His biggest combo 1 bar is 30, and his biggest combo 2 bars is around like 40 at most. That's if you're lucky. The only thing about this character I would say is good is that all 3 of his variations are actually good. There's not one that is really bad. Probably the worst one out the bunch is Searing Rage, and this one's probably seen the most because it's a really good variant. I will say he's a good character, but I definitely won't say he's a top tier by any means. This is a good character. Well, I'm not let me rephrase it. I definitely think he's top tier, but I don't think he's like the best character. I think he's like a high top tier, like A to low S. But definitely not best. Not with fucking Gears and Cetron running around. I know they got nerfed. We're gonna get to that in a moment, but yeah, definitely not them. Noob Saibot. Honestly, nothing really needs to be changed on this character either. All these 2 variations give him combo potential, and this has one of the most annoying moves in the game for zoning out people, which is his Shadow Slide. Really fun move, but honestly fighting against it is one of the least fun things in the entire game. He has no real nerfs or buffs I can give him. He's good where he's at. Great combo character, 2 variations, great zoner in another. Baraka. Where the fuck do I begin with this character? I generally don't know what to say about this character. He has some of the highest B&B damage in the game, hitting like 50 on 1 bar of combos. which is great because let's be real here, Baraka hasn't done good since goddamn the old days when he came out. Marauder's great variation, gives him a poke and a combo extension tool, which makes him do ridiculous amounts of damage. Bone Picker gives him a command grab and anti-air, as well as combo or corner combos. So these two are actually really good variations. This one I don't really see the appeal of. You get a 50-50, which is actually pretty good because Brock has so many plus frames. But other than that, I don't really see too much as to why you would use this one. The other two are just so good. But he's not a bad character. I definitely rate him either complete mid or higher than mid. He's not a bad character. Rayan, this character needs some buffs. A lot of his strings need to get reworked completely. His back 1-2 needs to work because that needs to be fucking either safe or plus. Because Jesus, that is a ridiculous string. You got Kung Lao here that can go fucking, was it back 1 or forward 1? Wherever his straight fist is, you can do that 5 times in a row. Have to guess whether it's going to be a grab the next time. Meanwhile, Raiden can do his back 1-2, back 1, and you'd still have to fucking guess. Raiden has to guess what you'll do, because he's not fucking plus after that. I like the teleport. I like the little thunder wave. I think it could be better. Like, I feel like it shouldn't start with the whatchamacallit. I feel like it should just start as a high and then go mid, rather than starting mid, then going high. Because when you see someone do that and you block, you have so much time to react to it in a full combo after that. So it's one of the things. A lot of his strings need to get reworked in that. Raijin and Truth and Light, I think, are good variations in their own right. I just think Thunderwave needs to be reworked because it's one of the funnest because of the teleport. But yeah, just change his strings. His strings are garbage. He needs plus frames. He needs to be able to harass. Ray doesn't really have harassment. And I don't even know really what his archetype is in this fucking game. I don't know what they were going for. Like, I can see Baraka, he's kind of like a zoner plus frame character, like a bruiser. Like, he's not really out when he's full screen. He does lots of damage at all parts of the screen, so you can't really avoid him too much. You know, Shang Tsung's a zoner. You know, he can be a combo character in one zone or another. Johnny's a fucking rush down, you know, plus frame abuser. Sonya, a mix up. But I don't really understand what they were going for with Raiden. He doesn't really seem like any archetype. I guess he's kind of a zoner, but not really. I don't know. Jackie, this character needs to get fucking nerfed. Honestly, this character is one of the most busted fucking characters I've ever seen in a fucking game before. That's a lie. I've seen, you know, fucking Yang and goddamn whole horse. But this character is disgusting. She has some really crazy shit. First round KO, we'll talk about this one first. She gets a... If she techs a throw, she can get some advantage by making you guess what she's gonna do. So she can, once you go for a throw and she techs it, she can make you guess. So she gets a whole new mechanic. She gets the clinch up, which is a really fucking cool move. Ooh, sorry. Because it gives her a crushing blow as well as good enders and damage. And then she also gets the cancels. And the cancels are scary because Jackie's always in your face and she has 9 frame mid. That is ridiculous. So that's the first part about this bitch that's crazy. Second of all, why is her dash punch fucking plus? Not plus, but why is it so safe? Like, I know it's not completely plus, but depending on the character, you can't do shit against her once she does that shit. Like, you really have to sit here and eat a lot of the character shit, and that's what makes Jackie so unfun to fight. That's why anytime I see Jackie, I know they're sweating. You don't play Jackie because you like her, you play her because you're fucking sweating. No one likes this character. She's a fucking sweaty character. Next Gen is the only variation I even remotely respect because I just enjoy watching it. Has some cool, like, Aaron Black poison that this variation revolves around, trying to be able to set up that poison. That's really it. This one I don't respect at all. I remember when it came out, I was actually really intrigued by it, but then it just dawned on me that it was a mindless fucking combo 50-50 variant, where you have to guess a lot, and you can't really do much to her when she's in this variation, because she has so many options to deal with you when she's in the air. It's ridiculous. This character needs a nerf. How would I propose it? Nerf her fucking 9 frame. That's the first start. Second, nerf her dash punch. That's the second start. Third, I don't really think much else like needs to be nerfed. Maybe the cancels need to be nerfed a tiny bit. And then make her fucking jump shit in this variation a little slower because it's super fucking quick and she's able to do 3 things, one of which leads into a full combo. Sub-Zero, one of the most annoying characters in MK11 at the moment. This variation is the only variation I'm actually cool with because this is the true 50-50 variant, in my opinion. 50-50 counter zone, and that's what Sub-Zero really is, a 50-50 counter zone. This variation is like a zoner variant, but all you really see from this variation is the goddamn flying axe and the slide. It's the only things you see people use it for. And then this one's just crazy. He gets an ender to a string that's ridiculously plus and a low. He gets a trap, which he can set up and just zone out people with. Like, Sub-Zero's crazy. And all I would really say to nerf him on, his up 3, his like wake up attack, that shit needs to get nerfed. I don't know why it has so much reach as it does. Especially because it keeps you still, as most wake ups tend to do. So this dude could up 3 you, run up, and then you have to guess, is it low, overhead, or grab? You know, and that's annoying as fuck to deal with, because he could full combo off any of them. If he really desires to. One of them has a crushing blow attached to him, by the way. And another one can have a crushing blow attached to it. So, like, it's kind of disgusting. I don't really think Sub-Zero needs to be too nerfed. I just think maybe, like, his mix-up is kind of fucking disgusting. But I don't really know what you would do. Like, I think really at most you have to nerf his low. Because his low is, his overhead's really reactable, but his low really isn't. And the issue is, to react to the overhead, you kind of have to be predicting it. Like, it's not too, like, fuzzyable. Like, it's not too, like, slow, but it's not too quick either, so. It's just enough, like, to the point where, like, if you were blocking the wrong direction, you can react quickly enough. But just not enough to the point where if you have a little slower reactions, you'll get tapped by it, so you're gonna get hit. All I say is nerf his low. That's really it. Oh, and nerf his ice ball. I don't know why it lasts as long as it does. Like, we should be glad Sub-Zero doesn't have, like, a fucking poison. Sorry, man. We should be glad this dude doesn't have a poison, because this dude could freeze you, set the poison, and you're just forced to eat that shit. They really gave him a ridiculously long stun for no reason. Like, you can't really anti-zone, or, I mean, anti-zone, you can't really zone out a subs, because he could just throw an ice bolt full screen. And if you happen to trade with that shit, guess what? He's won the trade. He's gonna get more damage than you guaranteed, because he gets either a full combo, or maybe like a slide. And usually he's going to do enhanced slide, which guarantees like 15, so. Kano. Not really much to say on this one. I generally like watching Ratbag. It's the only one I think I like watching. This one has been kind of overplayed. Dirtbag has been overplayed since Fox started playing him. He's just kind of played this way, and you've seen so many fucking Kanos come out the woodwork playing this fucking variation. And this one, I'm not really impressed too much by this one. But I won't say that's a bad thing. It's not like Dirtbag where I generally feel like this character, like, there's like a couple things I would change, but I don't think he's a good character, so I'm not gonna say them. He just has a couple annoying things in his kit. Kabal. This character is one of my least favorite characters in the game. As you guys can sense, there's a trend here where if you zone and can 50-50, you're generally a lot less higher on my scale. Which is why characters like Sonya, Kabal, and Sub-Zero, although Sub-Zero's anti-zone, he has heavy anti-zone. Why these characters are so goddamn low on my scale of like characters I like to fight, because having to deal with 50-50s while being zoned out is annoying. Kabal has a lot of zoning. This variation gives him a cancel. As you saw with the Aaron Black cancel, it's pretty much just like that. You just cancel from like a string you were doing, and then you can either go into another string, you can just go for grab or do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. This one, both these give him a low to work with, which is super fucking annoying because he has overheads to work with. So they give him 50-50s. This one gives him a fucking like a restand, which I don't understand why they would give him one. He has a restand. He has some of the most plus fucking combos in the game. He has one of the most bullshit tools in the game, which is his back one. That shit's retarded. It's a fucking mid that has ridiculous reach, but isn't slow. It's probably like a, what, 16 frame mid? And it's ridiculous, honestly. It's so fucking disgusting how good that mid is. Because he can literally, like, let's say he pokes you and does a backdash. You can't press a button. If you press a button, like, let's say you do, like, down 4, he'll catch you with the back one. His back one's always going to catch whatever you do. Whatever you do will not catch him. Because Kabal has a weird hitbox now. Like, he, like, leans his hand towards you, but then leans his body back. And this one is the only variation I kind of respect, because it's really fun to watch. which is what I thought Cabal was going to be when I got this game, was like he was going to be a combo character, but they ended up just making him a fucking zoner 50/50. So Louis, this is the man of the hour. People fucking hate this character, and honestly, I can understand why. I've mained him for a long time. I still have him as a main. He's one of my favorite characters, but I understand when he's been nerfed. So, Lu Hongquan is the biggest variation we're going to look at. Low Fireball generally has some changes. I just think Low Fireball should just be part of his base kit, but because it's not, Lu Hongquan's crazy. Wuxi Legend, this shit is garbage. It's kind of like a zoner, having a fucking projectile parry is so garbage in this game because you're never ever gonna be able to use it properly. It's just bad. Like, the only cool thing about this is the teleport and the buff, but the teleport's kind of bad because it's only really good for the mix-up, and then the buff's just good. The only thing I would say would nerf on this one, or to change, would be the teleport. Teleport's bad. Now, on to what needs nerfing from Liu Kang. Liu Kang needs some nerf. First thing I would say, generally, would be his fucking, whatchamacallit. I feel like his bicycle kick, like the crusher ball in that should be up to 4 enhancements instead of 3. 3 is very easy. You're gonna guarantee get one once you start doing a combo with fucking Louis. So you get 2, and then you'll get your 3rd practically in like a minute, or not even a minute, like 5 seconds. So like, he gets his shit loaded really quickly. I think maybe get rid of his, whatchamacallit, the plus frames on his 1-2. 1-2 is ridiculously fucking fast, and something I've noticed Liu Kang's do recently is that they'll just wake up 1-2-3 because you're just fucking allowed to, because it's like a 7-frame combo that is plus, so even if they fuck up, they don't really fuck up. Forward 4 doesn't really need a nerf in my opinion because it got nerfed into the ground. And back 2 doesn't really nerf. Really, it's just 1-2 I think needs a huge nerf, and then his I mean his 50/50s and the stances, but I wouldn't really say nerf those because it's like the only 50/50 the fucking character got. Kitana, fuck. There's not really much to say. The character's kind of shit. I don't like fighting Highborn, but I understand it's not the best variation. And then I don't see anyone play Fearless, even though I know it's actually a really good variation to use. And Fanfare. I mean, there's not much to say. This character's just kind of on the shittier end of the spectrum. I don't really know what you would buff on her though, because it's like Xiao, where like she's in a weird situation where she just has that kit and you can't do too much to it without changing the character in the process. Kung Lao, generally speaking, this character's bad, but he embodies what makes MK11 one of the most unfun fucking fighting games of the year, because Kung Lao is able to abuse people with what makes MK11 so annoying: grabs and staggers and pokes. He has one of the better pokes. His down 3 is very hard to punish, mind you. Like, you can't trade with that really, because he kind of like goes low and backwards while keeping his foot still, so you're not gonna be able to like down 1 poke him or like do a high or something like that. He has the forward 1 stagger, and this shit's just fucking ludicrous. So this dude can literally forward 1, forward 1, forward 1, forward 1, and you have to guess whether it's gonna be grab or if not a forward 1. Guess wrong and you can get full comboed. His air-to-air game is fucking disgusting with that dive kick. And other than that, really the character isn't good. All of his shit's kind of bad. His teleport's very predictable. You can just uppercut his teleport. The Z-Hat's garbage. This shit's garbage. It wastes so much meter just to do this move. I mean, and then this is... does anyone even use this shit? Like, being real for a moment? Jade, she's an annoying zoner. That's really it. There's nothing I would say to nerf on her. She's just annoying. Like, generally speaking, there's nothing to nerf on this character. She's just an annoying character. Like, if you want my personal opinion, nerf her fucking back 3 string, because that shit's disgusting. But other than that, Scarlet, just another kind of mediocre character. She's really good at zoning, but once you get in, you're in. And I generally would just say, I don't know. I don't really see too much to change on her, because she's just so awkward to change. She has Katana syndrome and Shao Kahn syndrome. changing just enough would kind of fuck her. I don't think she really needs buffs. I think she's in a good spot like Baraka. D'Vorah, well, they kind of show D'Vorah's not nearly as bad as people have made her out to be. She has anti-zone, she has setup, and then I don't know what the fuck that variation even brings, but she actually has some decent shit in her kit, and some really good plus frames, but no one plays her. She's just an underrated pick. Kotal, another good character now. I don't understand why people are saying this character is bad. I generally think he's one of the better characters in the game right now. Like, if I had to rate him, I'd definitely put him above characters like Jax. And like, obviously the low tiers like Raiden would be one of them. Kano would be another one. Collector. Like, I put him above the low tiers, but like, honestly, this dude, I think he's better than, like, he's definitely better than Jade in my opinion. I think he's better than Baraka, and I think he's better than, pardon me, and I think he's better than, I don't know, I'm not gonna pick through the list. Just my point is that he's actually a pretty decent character. I don't understand why people say he's so bad. This variation, you get one of the most disgusting command grabs in the entire game. Like, deadass, you have to fucking jump to even remotely avoid that command grab. He has the light thing, which is kind of bad, but then he also has the combo extension uppercut. This one, no one uses it. Not even gonna talk about it. You just gotta change the fucking Panthers on this one. And this one, which is probably his craziest variation, he gets a ender to a string, which is normally his discus. Now has, it's now plus. Like, you can use it to, like, keep strings completely safe. And then he has his two totems. The defense totem, the defense buff is ridiculous, and then the strength buff is also ridiculous. He also hits really high damage for no fucking reason. Like, have you ever done his con cut or whatever, Metsu to cut, and then enhance it? The shit literally does like 20%, and then if you fucking do the totems, that shit can reach like 30. It's disgusting. The Terminator, I mean, honestly, he's just a 50-50 character. There's not much to say about this character. He's the epitome of 50-50. That's really it. There's nothing else to say about the character. He's just a 50-50 character. I wouldn't nerf much on him. Like, yeah, he has annoying mix-ups, but they're kind of readable, so. Geras, I mean, they nerfed the one thing I really would have said to nerf on him, which was his forward 2-string. Other than that, I think his Sand Trap needs a fucking nerf. I don't know if they nerfed in this patch. I can only remember the forward 2 nerf being the big one. But really, all I want for Sand Trap for a nerf is make it a little negative. Like, you really shouldn't be allowed to do this shit, and the recovery shouldn't be quick enough that, like, you can just keep on using it before someone's even able to throw one projectile. I don't know if they nerfed that yet. I didn't read the patch notes on Geras fully. I just saw the 4-2 and thought, yes, finally. But other than that, that's the only other thing of a nerf. I think otherwise he's a fun character. Collector, on the low tier end of the spectrum, this is the only variation I see really good because it has a teleport and a command grab on it. This one, you get outzoned very easily, because this isn't really a zoner variation, it's more like a setup. And then this one really is bad ever since they nerfed the Chakram. There's not much to say on Collector, really. He's kind of bad. This variation is the only variation I even remotely recommend using, but, you know. Sindel, she's a pretty good character. Good 50-50, good, like, cancels and shit. I definitely would recommend her. I definitely say she's on the higher end of the spectrum, up there with, like, Scorpion and shit. Not a S tier, but like A tier. Like, above Baraka is where I put her. Cetrion, ridiculous character with ridiculous stagger. They nerfed her teleport, but that was one variation. No one's ever going to use Born again, so it really is just force of nature. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah, and that's really the video. I just want to talk about this because I think it's annoying. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.